New electronic gadgets are popping up everywhere, and they're all using power. Most of them plug into a wall outlet to charge.
Or like this clock, some use a USB cord to get power from your computer.
These days, you can't look just to your refrigerator, furnace, and lights to calculate your energy use.
It's new technologies this week on Alliant Energy's PowerHouse.
PowerHouse, presented by Alliant Energy.
Alliant Energy, we're on for you.
Not so long ago, less than 10 years really, this was the quality of a picture you might have had on your television. A standard definition analog signal with a tube TV.
Then, just a few years ago, we made the leap to digital TV, and that allowed for technology to jump into higher definition and better energy efficiency, like LCD or LED TVs.
The signal on this set uses half the amount of power used of an old tube set. Whew.
That was cool. TV technology continues to advance quickly. TVs have higher resolution and more options today than those from just a couple years ago. Features like curved TVs and smart TVs are making buying a TV more complicated than ever.
Not to mention all the accessories you can add to your entertainment system.
You know what? I'm going to go check out what's new with TVs, and you can explore all of the new accessories available.
That sounds like a plan to me, Megan. Let's get started.
Did you know the average home has more than 3 TVs? Even though the new TVs use a lot less energy than those old tube-style TVs, with 3 TVs in many homes, that's still using a significant amount of energy. So today, we'll check out the latest technology in televisions. We'll be looking at LED sets. That stands for light-emitting diode. OLED, a variation of the LED. LCD sets, liquid crystal displays, and 4K televisions. We're leaving plasma TVs out of the comparison today because they're pretty much out of the picture and they use considerably more energy to operate than the others we mentioned. We're here at Sears today, where they have a multitude of televisions to choose from, and Derek Heiberger is going to be helping us out. Hi, Derek.
Hi.
Okay, explain the numbers thing. We hear 720, 1080, 4K. Are they all related, and what do they mean?
It's describing the number of pixels in the screen, pixels being the dots that make up the screen's picture. So 720 is going to be the base model, and that's going to be the 720 pixels from the top of the screen to the bottom. Then 1080p is going to be 1080 pixels, and 4K is going to be 2160.
Okay, so that puts it all into perspective. It's not the number of pixels on the entire screen.
Yep.
And I'm guessing the higher the number,
Yep, pretty much the better.
the better. So which televisions do you see people purchasing most often?
Generally a 50 to 55 inch LED set, sometimes 4K, sometimes not.
And technology is moving so rapidly these days. What is the latest and greatest, and what's new now?
Right now, the new thing is going to be 4K ultra high definition, curved TVs, and also OLED TVs.
Now, curved TVs have been out a while. Is it wise for people to rush right into that new technology, or would you advise them to wait a little while?
Right now, things like 4K and the curved screen have been out for about a year and a half, so the kinks are worked out. So going to buy one is definitely not a bad idea.
Can you clarify the difference between an LED and an LCD set?
Yep. So the main difference is going to be the light that shines through the screen. LCD TVs use a fluorescent tube light in the back of the TV, whereas a modern LED set uses smaller LED lights like you'd find in a small flashlight.
Oh, and then an OLED, how is that related?
It's a brand new type of TV, and we actually have one right over here, and I can show you real quick.
Okay.
So this here is one of our OLED televisions. So the main difference between OLED and a normal LED TV is that every pixel in the screen is going to be made up of its own set of LEDs. It gives the TV better color and darker blacks and brighter whites.
Wow, it's a beautiful picture, first of all, and I noticed there's a curved screen.
Yep. So curved TVs are a newer thing as well. It helps viewing from the side. So if you have a couch up against a wall to the side of the TV, it's definitely a good option to look at.
Are all OLEDs curved like this?
Not all of them, but some of them are.
Okay. We're always telling our viewers to look at the energy guide when they're purchasing a refrigerator or a stove. Is that something that we should be looking at when we purchase a TV as well?
Definitely. A TV is going to be on a lot of the time in the house, so a good thing to look at is going to be the yellow energy guide stickers on the TVs.
Right.
That way you can compare the TV side to side.
Now, it looks to me like the LED price to operate per year is a little bit higher than than an LCD. So why should someone purchase an LED television?
So the main reason is going to be, like the newer features, they cost more to operate. However, they're going to give you a better picture overall and a better viewing experience.
So this one behind us costs the most to run out of all of these.
Yep. So that one right there, being the top of the line, it's going to cost the most. That being said, it's also going to deliver the best picture out of all of the TVs.
Let's talk about 4K. You explained that that's the most amount of pixels available, and so it's going to have a better picture and all of that. Is that gaining in popularity, or is it so new that people are staying away from it?
It's definitely gaining in popularity. More and more things are able to be broadcast in 4K now, so there's definitely an incentive to go out and buy one.
I imagine you see those customers that come in that have to have the latest and greatest as well.
Definitely, and they're usually the ones who are going to spring on the 4K TVs.
Now, a big trend right now is streaming movies and all of that kind of stuff, having internet access with our televisions. That's become a really popular thing. Is that a standard feature?
It's not going to be standard, but it will be on most of the TVs that we're going to be able to sell. And that is definitely gaining in popularity, which is why it's included on more and more models every year.
Right, and that whole smart home philosophy, which is pretty cool as well.
Yep.
Great, this is fabulous information. Thank you so much.
Yep, not a problem.
If you'd like more details on television technology and how much your television costs to run, visit our website, powerhousetv.com.
If each TV, DVD player, and home theater system purchased in the U.S. this year earned the Energy Star label, we would prevent how many billion pounds of greenhouse emissions every year? 1 billion, 2 billion, or 3 billion? If each TV, DVD player, and home theater system purchased in the U.S. this year earned the Energy Star label, we would prevent how many billion pounds of greenhouse emissions every year? 1 billion, 2 billion, or 3 billion? The answer is 2 billion. If every TV, DVD, and home theater system purchased this year in the U.S. earned the Energy Star label, we would save over 2 billion pounds of greenhouse gas emissions every year. That's equal to the emissions from more than 175,000 cars. As technology continues to advance, more and more electronics are being plugged in. Just think about your own TV. You probably have a DVD, video games, cable boxes, wireless routers, video streaming technology, and they all use energy. Even when you're not actively using them, they still use energy. This is called phantom or standby energy use. Think of it like a dripping sink. A drip here and there doesn't mean much, but pretty soon you'll have a full sink of water. Each device that gets plugged in uses a little power. A TV, when it's turned off, will continue to draw some power. An adapter used to charge your phone will use some power even when a phone isn't charging. Phantom energy costs just pennies when compared to the power usage in the active mode. But most of us have 20 to 40 devices in our homes that use energy in a standby setting. Then those pennies can quickly add up to dollars. Many energy experts believe phantom energy can add up to 5 to 10% of your yearly utility bill, 5 to 10%. So how can you put that to a stop? First, let's find out what we're up against. Let's go around our house and find some things that just might be draining your power. Most of these items stay plugged in even when they aren't being used. Just like this TV, it's off, but it's still using power. So how do you know how much power is being used? This is a kilowatt meter. You can buy it for about $30, and all you have to do is plug devices into it to find out how much power it uses. Now, you can enter the cost of kilowatt hours, and you can find that information on your monthly utility bill, and then set it to estimate your daily, monthly, or yearly cost. We've set this meter to read out our yearly cost. All you do is plug in and wait. Now, it's recommended you wait 24 hours to get a good estimate, which we've done on all of these items already. Okay, let's start with the phone charger. If it's left plugged in without a phone, it'll cost you about 25 cents in a year. That's only if you left the charger plugged in and never add the phone. When you are charging a phone, it chimes in around $3.54 a year, and once the phone is charged, the cost drops to about $2.15 per year. So really, once you have your phone charged, take it off the charger and unplug it from the wall. How about a DVD player? When it's plugged in and turned off, it's still costing you some money, about $1.49 per year. If it's on but not playing a DVD, it'll cost you about $7.25 per year. And if you just left it on all year, playing a movie over and over, it costs you about $9.54 per year. Now, these are small numbers, but once you start adding all of the appliances in your house, you can start to see just how much phantom power can cost you. Now, this one is something to think about. Many of us have external hard drives that you keep plugged in and attached to your computer. The average cost of a hard drive when it's plugged in and not being used is going to cost you about $1.98 per year. If you don't use the hard drive that often, just unplug it and let it sit until you need it. Now, what about a laptop? They're always being charged, and some people leave them plugged in so they're always charging. But what's that going to cost you? An average laptop will cost about $44.28 per year while it is charging. When it's fully charged, that cost drops to about $29.48 per year. If you leave it connected to the power supply, sleep mode drops it to about $15.77 per year. And if you turn it off and leave it connected, it'll drop it even lower to about $8.90 per year. Take it off the charger, and you're still going to rack up some dollars. The charger alone will draw about $4.42 per year. So really, just unplug the charger from the wall. Now, every household with a teenager has one of these, a video game. When powered down, it still draws power and could cost you about $1 a year. But when it's powered up and ready, it could cost you over $20 a year, depending upon the power settings you have set up. Finally, let's add in all of our TVs. When they're turned off, they draw in enough energy to cost you around, just $1 a year. But that doesn't include a DVR or cable receiver, which also draws power when not turned on. When you add it all up, energy experts think all of this standby energy could end up costing you about 5 to 10% of your annual utility bill. It all depends on how you use the appliances you're using and the cost per kilowatt hour in your area. So, take some time, go around your house, find out what little bits of energy are draining cash out of your wallet. You'll be surprised how many energy vampires are lurking around your home.
Annually, what's the cost of wasted energy from phantom power on a national scale? A, $2 billion, B, $3.5 billion, or C, over $5 billion. Annually, what's the cost of wasted energy from phantom power on a national scale? A, $2 billion, B, $3.5 billion, or C, over $5 billion. The answer is C. Phantom power accounts for about $5.8 billion in energy each year. Welcome back to PowerHouse. If you have kids, you probably have at least one video game system in your home. These systems are big energy users, but did you know there are settings in today's gaming systems that can help you take advantage of energy savings? I'm going to walk you through a few simple steps that will help you maximize your energy savings and still enjoy the gaming system. Let's start with the Xbox One. One of the more popular features for the console is something called Instant On. It comes already configured to be listening for someone to say Xbox On and allow access to other devices by this network. But you can turn this feature off and allow it to use almost 98% less power when you're waiting for someone to use it. All you have to do is go to the power mode and startup settings and change the power mode from instant on to energy savings. If you own a Kinect for your Xbox, make sure that you disconnect it when you're not using it, because this device instantly recognizes movement and it can use up to 14 watts when the Xbox is being used. So if you aren't using the Kinect, simply unplug it. With the PlayStation 4, you need to make sure you have the latest software update. That allows the system to enter a low-power rest mode after 1 hour of inactivity. Then, if you scroll down to Power Save Settings, we'll find some other options. You can set the time until the PS4 turns off. And if you use media playback, that would be watching videos or playing songs. Okay, if you go to General Applications, you would use this if you're gaming or browsing the internet. You can also set time limits for how long power is supplied to the USB ports when the console is in rest mode. This allows the ports to charge whatever needs to be charged, but then turn off when the charging is complete. There's also another handy feature that lets controllers turn themselves off when not in use. You can choose to turn off the controllers automatically after 10, 30, or 60 minutes, depending on your habits. All this can lower the console's power usage by almost 65%. There's some good news if you have a Wii U. It's already configured for low energy use in all game modes. Today's game consoles also allow you to control output of your cable or satellite set-top boxes. The recommended setup is usually suggesting that you plug your receiver into your game console and then plug your console into your TV. The game console stays on the entire time you're watching TV or streaming content, and it's like watching it on TV, but it has twice the power consumption. So the best thing to do is just hook up each device to the TV separately, and that allows you to control what's on and what's off. If you absolutely want to stream content, consider doing it through a laptop or a tablet instead of a game console. Streaming through a game console can use up to 10 times more energy. Over 19 million game consoles were sold over the past 2 years, and if all of them took these steps to save energy, that would save over 800 million kilowatt hours every year.
Here's an easy way to get rid of those phone cord chargers that are always taking up space in your outlets. Just get one of these. This is a normal outlet, but it has one major difference. It powers a USB port and bypasses the need for a charger. Now, most of these will work with all types of phones, but you should always check for compatibility on the packaging before you buy one. And they're relatively inexpensive, about $20 to $30, and pretty simple to install. First, let's remember safety. Always turn off the power to your outlet from the breaker box. Then unscrew the faceplate to your old outlet. Then disconnect the power, take out the new outlet, hook the wires and the proper screws. Then it's back to the new outlet, into the wall, and attaching the faceplate. Power the breaker back on and plug in your phone. There it is, a quick and easy do-it-yourself project that can help make sure your house is a powerhouse.
Today's flat-screen TVs use less power than the old tube TVs. How much more energy does a tube TV use than a modern flat-screen TV? A, twice as much. B, 3 times as much. Or C, 4 times as much. Today's flat-screen TVs use less power than the old tube TVs. How much more energy does a tube TV use than a modern flat-screen TV? A, twice as much. B, 3 times as much. Or C, 4 times as much. The answer is C. A tube TV from just 10 years ago can cost you up to 4 times as much to operate in energy costs than a modern flat-screen TV.
Welcome back to PowerHouse. Now, we haven't talked much about this guy here, Many of us are conditioned to just leave it on 24/7. That way you have easy access to it whenever you need it. But that can also waste a lot of energy and money. Now, there are a few things you can do to make sure you aren't throwing money out the window. First off, take your home office temperature. Yeah, just take note. Is it warmer in your office than the rest of the house? There's a reason that could be the case. You're using energy and heating up the room. One simple thing to do is to turn off your monitor, or better yet, your whole computer if you don't use it very often. At the very least, make sure your computer enters a sleep mode. That allows it to use a lower level of energy. When it enters sleep mode, you see a screensaver. A screensaver was designed and created for the old tube monitors so you wouldn't suffer a video burn. That's when an image that was stationary on your screen could still be seen when the screen was turned off. Today's flat panel computers don't get a video burn, so just turn off your screensaver. That little trick will save energy on any computer. Another thing you can do is plug your computer into one of these smart strips. They're pretty nifty little gadgets. You can plug multiple things into the strip and decide which items will always have power and which items won't. It'll help you monitor which accessories are sucking phantom power while keeping wasted energy away from other gadgets.
Well, Pete, if we've learned anything today, we've learned that technology is ever changing.
You bet, Megan, and that means you have to be more vigilant to make sure your new gadgets or gizmos aren't wasting energy.
Absolutely. Those power adapters and chargers and gaming consoles and TVs can all add up quickly when you look at how many of them are plugged into your house.
And it's really important to look for the energy label if you're looking at a new TV. If you don't see it, then you'll be using more energy and maybe for no reason at all.
That's right. It's the small things that add up and make a bigger difference in the end. So taking control of your phantom energy can really help you shave off anywhere from 5 to 10% of your annual utility bill.
And those steps help make your house a powerhouse.
Megan's Wardrobe, provided by Dress Barn.